captain's log, Bones has insisted that I contact every woman I have ever slept with in the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. We will be departing on another 5-year mission for proper diligence in informing everyone that they may be exposed to space herpes.
It is a public health necessity that you inform all of your partners if you have tested positive for space herpes.
Hello, welcome back to another edition of Arbitration Studios, continuing our journey across the whole damn thing of Mass Effect, beginning with Mass Effect 1 and continuing through the mainline trilogy. I'm JP Arbiter.
I'm Captain Jack.
And we are going to be spending some time to meet our lovely cast of characters. So let's start off with my favorite.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Saving my boots from burning lava is part of your job, Joker. We don't give medals to soldiers for doing their jobs.
That figures. Just get me a nice card and a cake. No coconut, though. I hate that crap. Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
You ever get the feeling that Seth Green is ad-libbing this entire
I'd like to know
thing?
my crew.
Probably.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I'm the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
What disease? What disease?
What are you talking about? Are you sick?
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap.
Oh, I love making him
I've
feel
got
like that.
Froelich syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
I do happen to like the sound of snapping shin
I need to know
bones.
more about this
However,
Froelich syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. I
Oh.
classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures. Hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
So,
You're not
How do
gonna
you do
break
your
a
job?
bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can
and
do my
that's
job
why
as
I
well
like
as anyone
him.
on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
I'm not
Okay.
trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want,
Oh.
Commander.
How do you get your
Does everyone
nickname?
call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
oh,
I was just
that's
thinking how much you
lovely.
remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about
You never
my
get to
smile.
pick your call
He
sign.
started calling me Joker.
That's
It stuck.
actually fundamentally true.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the
That is
the
patently
best pilot
false.
in the
I know
academy.
quite a few
Even
people
better
in the
than the
industry who have
instructors
made their
everybody
career
knew.
on walking around
They'd all got
smiling
their
like an
asses
idiot.
kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Alright.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Fair
How's
enough.
the Normandy
Tell me about
performing?
my beautiful,
Is she
beautiful
everything
ship.
they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet, if you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect.
Amen.
Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful.
Are
The
you saying
Normandy's
she's got a
probably
lot of
too
trunk?
much ship
A
for your
lot of
average
junk in her
Alliance
trunk?
pilot,
Gosh,
Commander.
that joke would have been
Lucky
great
for
if I
you,
could have gotten
not
out
anything
without
but
it. Oh boy.
So,
I'd like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you?
I can see where this is going. You
all
top of
right.
my class in flight
Oh,
school, I
the
earned
typical.
that. All those
Wait,
contributions
are
in
you
my
contagious?
file, I earned every single
I can't have you on this ship if you're going to infect my crew.
Infect the crew? Oh man, you have no idea what I'm... Okay.
All right,
Put the
yeah.
Normandy in my hands and I'll make it
Mass Effect disorder.
Just don't ask me
Accidentally
what
cycling
happened.
around.
Yeah. Oh. That was one thing I like in their later games that they actually managed to do, which is like they removed that you could go through and just do the same conversation over and over and over again. Oh, hey, Navigator Presley.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure
Also
about
the
having
XO.
non-humans on our ship, though.
You
I'm in
doubt my
charge,
decisions?
Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
And that's at least the good part of him. He knows when... He has his views, but he'll shut the fuck up.
That is a very good military attitude.
Speak
right
freely,
there.
Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Never
People
turn
think
away.
asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can...
Fortunately,
I guess so.
they
Maybe
got
I'm
we
just
get
stuck in
rid
the
of
old
him in
ways of
Mass
thinking.
Effect 2,
But don't
which is
worry,
good.
Commander,
He was
it won't be a
completely
problem.
unlikable.
It's true.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were one of the first reinforcements to arrive at Elysium after the Blitz hit. Those raiders were no match for an Alliance frigate. Of course, the only reason the colony was still standing was because of you, Commander. I can't believe you held out as long as you did.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Alright. And that is that. Carry on, Presley.
Yeah, yeah.
And just...
Yeah.
Space racism is a tired but unfortunately necessary trope. And the only thing that I am glad for is that it's not humans who are racist and then everyone, and then all other alien species are like, God, why are humans like that? No, it's... it's universal.
The Turians. I mean, the Turians are smart. They hate humans. I mean, that's a smart. I think that's a really smart thing because I mean, let's face it. We are one really charismatic leader away from being the 40K Imperium of Man. I mean, honestly.
Yep.
Speaking of people I hate, and I really feel bad about hating Hayden because there is nothing he does in this game that is worth hating. It is solely based on the fact that he's Carlo Messi.
Yep.
I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council?
Nope.
Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
Ba-dum-bum.
It just seems like
How dare
been around
you
as long as
insult
the
them
Council
that way?
should see this coming. It's funny, we finally get out
Humans
and the
are
final
arse.
frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
It's a cute way to look at it.
You're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read
I'm a
lot of
fuck 'em.
books when I was a kid where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves.
Agatha Christie is gonna fuck everybody.
For justice.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Dramatic at the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp.
I've never done I've never done a Captain Kirk run, but you know, I mean,
I just
I've heard
wanna
about
do
it.
some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me
It's
about
alright.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, kind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled.
Hauled in.
There are worse results.
Conscripted.
Accidental exposure to element zero in the womb beats the brain tumors some kids grew up with.
damn corporations.
I heard all about that. How companies would arrange accidents to expose people to element zero.
There was never any proof of that. It's not what happened in my case, anyway. My mother was downwind.
Really, like, I mean, anybody that's ever dealt with a corporation of any sort would not believe that they would do that.
It only gets iffy around
Capitalism has no morals, folks.
Running out of first-gen subways. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, jump zero.
Give me the Geth any day over a corporation.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drive posts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that'd get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and Kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Time to get physical, physical.
I'm not the sort who does that kind of thing, Commander. Not lightly, anyway. There was a girl I spent a lot of time with, but we kept our clothes on. Rana.
Aww.
She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it.
Sounds like a bitch.
I guess.
Oh.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
Zero's Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
I do like the fact that they...
Biggest and farthest facility.
Maybe it's because BioWare is a Canadian company rather than American. And maybe also the part of it is that when you go to space, you openly acknowledge not just the American efforts, but the Russian efforts as well. So to have a space station named after Yuri Gagarin...
Yeah, no,
is not...
Zero's a long way from home.
Bizarre.
No, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of like the idea that once we get into space, where, like, what country you come from starts meaning less and less, you know? And the idea that
I wanted to get to know you a little better.
humanity,
Thanks for the talk, Katie.
even with all its foibles and follies, will eventually come together in one kind of, you know, I don't want to say necessarily culture, but at least one government, you know, that kind of looks out for humanity's interests and humanity's in a way.
But yeah,
it's nice to think of humanity getting off of this mud ball, to be honest. What's not nice is to think of Caden's humanity, because I hate him. Hate him.
Meanwhile, we've got this lovely specimen of humanity.
Meanwhile, we have the
Hey, tell me about my future boyfriend.
I'd never worked with him before this mission, but he has an impressive service record, over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe
I don't know.
headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to
Will
do
he
with
let
it?
us do the Captain Kirk
Well,
run?
most biotics now use the L3 implant.
Oh, I'll do the Captain
Lieutenant
Kirk run.
Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration.
I wish she
Sometimes
was
there
on
are
the Captain Kirk
complications.
run. Of course, I also
What
wish that
kind of
Krogan was on the
complications?
Captain Kirk run.
Severe mental
I'm a weird
disabilities,
individual.
insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long
You
list
want
of
that bad
horrific
dragon to
side
leave you
effects.
gaping and
Caden's lucky.
gasping.
He just gets
You're
my
damn
votes.
right.
Alright, that's enough about my future boyfriend. Let's talk about my
How'd you
future
end up serving
mistress.
on an alliance ship?
Oh, yeah.
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe.
Goddamn right.
See, I like that
I
they
figured
make
the
doctors
colonists were teeming
enlist
with
instead
exotic
of
adventure.
take a commission.
I wanted to travel the
then
stars,
make 'em work
tending
their
the
way
wounds
up.
of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity
No, it isn't.
needs the alliance.
I don't know why
Wanted
people
to
ever think that it
expand
is.
Through the Traverse, And the Alliance always needs good doctors.
It's a lot of boring
So I stayed
paperwork
on
and
to
just
do my
boringness, separated with
Ever think you made the wrong
moments of
choice?
absolute
Sometimes I think
terror.
about opening a private practice back on Earth.
The
Or maybe
likes of
taking
which
a
you can't
position at one of the
possibly
new med
imagine.
centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
That
She's not
is
wrong with
sweet.
that either.
Goodbye, Commander.
Military people are just a different breed.
Where is the Metagel refill station? Alright, well.
Hello, Liara.
Yo, Blue Chica. That's right, add attention.
Commander, are you coming to
When I walk in the door, you will get on your feet and then you will get on your knees.
You look much better.
Really? We're gonna
How
go
are you
like that?
feeling?
Yes.
Alright, fair enough.
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari
There is
physiology.
no better thing than waking up with a blowjob from your superior officer.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I would know
I
nothing
never
about
properly
that.
thank you for
Neither
saving
would
me
I. I
from the
never
death,
served,
Commander.
but
If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me.
That's
like
not
Venezia.
what it is.
I will do whatever I can to help you
it's the
stop sailing.
titties.
I
It's
promise.
the titties.
Don't
I
worry,
know.
Liara.
Although that being said, why
Trust
do they
you.
have titties?
I know you won't let me down.
They're still mammalian.
It means a lot to hear you say that,
Really?
Commander.
Yeah.
Even with the genetic, like the whole genetic, like, they have a weird breeding thing.
Roughly mammalian.
Yeah, roughly. I want to see some Krogan titties. That's what I
I'd
want
like
to
to know more
see.
about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice
See,
of
Krogan are
peaceful
reptilian.
cooperation in galactic
So-
justice.
I always thought they were.
Or they're
somebody
like
told me
marsupials.
Somebody told me they were mammalian.
Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species,
I
It seems
do
few of
like
them seek to
me
understand us.
some.
the galaxy is filled with
Marsupials.
rumors and misinformation about my people.
Or not marsupials. What it... Oh, it starts with an E. Platypuses. And echidna.
yeah.
The egg-laying mammals.
Yeah, the egg-laying
Like
mammals.
what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My
Entramines,
species
I think it is.
monogendered. Male
Maybe?
and female
I don't know.
have no
There-
real meaning
they-
for us.
there's like two of them.
We
Yeah,
seek
like
to
I said,
acquire a partner
platypuses
to
and echidna.
reproduce.
Well, there's two
This
that are around
second
now. I
parent,
think there
however,
were
may be
more,
of any
but
species
they've
and any
gone
gender.
extinct.
Semi-aquatic, egg-laying mammal, endemic to eastern Australia, genus paired with fossil records. Monotremes.
Monotremes. There
That's
you
what
go.
it is.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true
Oh,
union
yes, it
vital.
is.
Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the
Embrace
genetic memory of
eternity.
their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits onto our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What about the other
What happens
parent?
to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
Do you know who Matriarch Venezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
You can do that?
That is the dumbest fucking question ever.
Venezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood.
It's like reverse Harry Potter.
Cruel enough to say the word to my face. It is a great insult among my people.
Indeed.
It is possible Venezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She
Nope.
may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
You clearly
Maybe
don't
she
know
wanted
that.
to meet you but couldn't. Maybe something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure.
We do find out. Actually, if I recall right, Rex is like her great-grandfather?
I don't remember that part. We'll have to look for that part, because I don't remember that at all.
Like, her father's father was Rex. So, grandfather, I guess.
I don't remember seeing that, but maybe someday we'll get to figure it out during this run.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient
We eat
species
them.
live as
No,
long as
that's just, that would be funny if she said something like that. Like, whenever I do a playthrough of this, now, because I've played through it a couple of times, I always imagine them saying something else that's a little more, humorous. Like when you're talking to her about mating, I always imagine her making jokes about them killing their mates like they were
I don't understand.
Praying mantises.
Praying mantises.
About the need
Yeah,
for society to become more involved in shaping galactic
eat their heads.
events.
Wait, what? No.
So remember it's hard to remember because the year 2020 has been an absolute shitstorm. But remember when we were all freaking out about Asian murder hornets?
Oh yeah, the Asian murder hornets.
And then I saw a video of the American praying mantis being exposed to the murder hornet, and the hornet was just kind of like there, like no, and then the mantis went yoink.
Yeah, I mean it's so.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
And this is funny.
Me?
To me.
I am afraid I am not very interesting.
I
spend most of my time on remote digs.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would not want to be stung by one of those
I
motherfuckers.
would not want to mess with murder hornets at all. But people shouldn't act like we're not. We've got some Australianness going on in America. It's not that bad, but let's face it. Insect-wise, praying mantises are at the top of the food chain for a reason.
And then when you go out into the desert, and you know this, having lived in the California Mojave for a while, there is an absolutely gorgeous blue-bodied orange wing motherfucker called the tarantula hawk wasp, or as it's known in Mexico, el cazador.
I never meant to offend you, Shepard.
Or, as I like to call it, the nope.
The most painful insect sting ever recorded comes from the tarantula hawk wasp.
The nope. The flying nope. We also, of course, have the
by the goddess.
red velvet ant, which is not an ant, nor is it velvet.
The common bark scorpion.
Yeah, the common bark scorpion. We have. Look, America is no Australia, but we're not, Europe either.
Well, Europe killed anything that had a chance to.
Killed it and ate it. Pretty much.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Like Asari and their mates.
Indeed, like Asari.
That's my headcanon now.
I know, I got you right. Sometimes you get headcanon on these games because they don't explain stuff or because it'd be funnier. And mine has always been that Asari eat their mates. Not all the time, but, when they get annoying, like not putting down the toilet seat or something along those lines. Elevators are no fun on your own.
Yeah, that's why the SR2 gets stairs.
Oh, yeah. I love the stairs.
Especially when you're chasing around a goddamn hamster.
Oh, gosh, the whole hamster thing. Oh. Where's Minxed when you need him?
Alright. Not yet, you.
Oh, we're saving you.
Commander?
How we doing?
Opinion of the last mission.
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I don't talk to my mom.
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it. Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
I don't like any of those answers. I want a screwy answer. I want, are you really interested? Like that's would you be interested? I mean, she's kind of cute.
That's between you and her.
Ah, there you go.
Scuttlebutt says otherwise. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was hoping to get a minute of your time off the record.
Of course.
Open door policy. If you have any concerns, lay them on me.
My door's always open. Until it's
Alright.
closed.
I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
Rex is a big boy toy. He can have access to anything he wants.
And Garrus goddamn Vicarian is awesome.
I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
Oh, you meant those vital systems. I was
the
thinking of a
Alliance's
totally another group of vital
I'm not
systems
sure
that
I'd
they
call
were
the
going to be
council races
poking around
allies.
in.
We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
Standing up for ourselves doesn't mean standing alone.
I don't think we should turn down
Amen.
allies. I just think we shouldn't bet everything on them staying allies. As noble as the council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall,
They
they'll
don't.
abandon us.
We're not talking about the
You're a
council.
pessimistic
We're
view of
talking
the
about
universe,
Rex.
Williams.
A pessimist is what an optimist calls a realist. Look,
Uh-huh.
if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism. not
Really? I mean, well, it depends on if I have another human to throw.
No,
at.
that's... And that is totally racism.
But honestly, it depends on if I have another human to throw at the dog at the
You
bear
sound like one of
because
those terra
I
firma
like the
party
dog way
pamphlets,
more
Chief.
than I like humans.
Terra Firma is a pack of jackals. The founders had ideals. These days they just play off xenophobia and bigotry. My reasons are irrational.
Poignant.
My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, ma'am. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
That's odd. Your record is spotless and your technical scores. You should be serving with the fleet.
Anyway, that's why I haven't served with many aliens, Commander.
I come from a military family too. My parents were both Navy. Anybody in your family we might know?
Couldn't say, Commander. We probably have a lot
Lie.
in common. You join up to carry on the tradition?
No. The future of humanity is out here. There's so much we haven't seen yet.
Fucking man.
Well, really, honestly,
still
we
remember
joined
the
up
first
to
field exercise in
Captain
Titan.
Kirk, this damn
When we
galaxy.
hit mud, reality hit me. I'm the first person who ever
I'm gonna violate the Prime
Then my
Directive
drill
everywhere I
started
go.
kicking me in the ass. I went face first into the mud. He spent the next 5 minutes chewing me out for gold breaking.
Don't tell me you had Gunny Ellison. He's the only one who uses that word to describe shirking duty.
Oh, Lord. You went to the Macapag boot camp, too? Yeah. Gunny Ellison's still reaming out recruits down there. Kicking ass and using words like inveigle and pusillanimous.
What the fuck? Seriously, if I had heard a drill say one of those things, I think that would have been it.
I would have broken down laughing.
That would have been it. Yeah, I would have been doing so much push-ups. So
This is
much
a multilateral
push-ups.
mission. You're gonna have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
I'm glad there won't be a problem.
Anything else you need, Commander?
Alright.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
And yeah, if I remember right, you have reason to talk to people after every mission.
It's true. They at least give you a bit of experience every time you do, and that's, I feel like, encouragement to talk to
Have you
them.
worked with a
And,
Spectre
you
before?
know, to me,
But I know
one thing, this is somebody's
Strikers make
art
their own
that somebody has put time and
Afraid of
effort
anything
into,
you
and if you're going to play it,
C-sec your
do them
parents'
the
life.
courtesy
Damn
of
bureaucrats
actually
are always on your
experiencing it.
back.
But more so, again, a lot of these guys, these voice actors and whatnot, this is, you know,
For the most part,
again,
the
they
rules
put
are
the
there
time
for
and
a
effort
reason.
into it. Give them the courtesy, give them the
Maybe.
respect of reading
But
through
sometimes
it.
it feels like the rules are only there to stop
But
me
that
from
being
doing
said,
my work. If I'm trying to
it's
take
also
out a
pretty cool.
suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as
You
long
know,
as I do.
even without my running
But C-sec
commentary on
wants
what
it
they
done
should be
their
saying.
way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why
Hey,
I left.
So you just quit because you
Garrus.
didn't like the way they do things.
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. C-sec's handling of
Yeah, there's a reason that cops have red tape, dude.
I just couldn't take it.
I'm just saying. I'm just pointing that out.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort
Like
of why I
most of my
teamed up with
boyfriends.
you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel. See how things are going
Wait, no.
outside.
That's the Asari. My bad.
Either way, I plan to make the most of this.
Sorry about that.
You're goddamn right you
Without
did.
C-sec headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Sounds
As
good
long
to
as you
me.
do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Damn right. Damn right.
All right, last round.
Have we talked to Rex yet?
Oh, no, he's dead last.
Yes, exactly. 'Cause, you know, we gotta save best
Your
for
ship's
last.
amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drone
She's
or anything.
fangirling.
I
can't believe you
love
were
her
able to fit it into a
earnestness.
ship this
I
small.
love that at no point
I'm starting to understand why you
in
humans
this
have been so
game,
successful.
and in any of the other
I
games,
had no
is there
idea
any
alliance vessels were
amount
so
of
advanced.
insincerity to her. She is sincere,
The Normandy's a prototype.
and
cutting
I
edge
appreciate
technology.
that.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space.
Do you need a minute?
Thank you again for bringing me along.
Towel, cigarette.
On a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
A shot introduced into
I had no idea you
your
found ship technology.
what is it?
so
The
interesting.
Emergency induction port.
The
There we
mining
go.
fleet
That's
is the
what it
key to the
That's
survival of
straw
my
tally.
people.
It's
Our most
foreshadowing.
valuable resource.
There's gonna be a lot of foreshadowing in this deal.
We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can.
I do like the fact that even though her visor is like mostly opaque, you can still make out facial features.
Mm,
That
I
was
can't
300
believe
years
we're
ago.
Still using ships that are 3 cents.
They're constantly repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
So,
I want to know more.
since you talked about pilgrimages,
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet.
okay, that makes sense. Don't
No
want to end up with
ship
your
wants to
cousin.
accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla.
so it's
and our
sort of
families
like
behind.
the
We only
going
return
out into
once
the
we have
world
found
that
something of
Amish
value
do.
we can bring back to the fleet.
A little bit.
This is
It's
presented
not
as a
uncommon
gift to the
amongst
captain of the respective ship we wish to
more
join.
close-knit
If the gift is
cultures
accepted, we are
to
welcomed
have
into
like a
the crew.
Rumspringer, which is what you were mentioning, or walkabout, or like a coming of age journey, pilgrimage,
I
if you
can't believe they
will.
just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey.
Which is good.
We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations
really
of
good if
living
you're gonna be
in
dealing with
isolated
humans.
and highly controlled
We're
environments
disgusting.
have left our immune systems
And we
weaker
absolutely don't
than
believe in
most.
public health in any way,
By
shape,
the
or form.
time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return
and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Do they always accept?
To reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
Alright.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
Tell me about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins, what they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Alright.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
So, the idea is that instead of artificial intelligence, it's more of like a networked program, where computational power is drastically increased the more CPUs you have working on it.
See, and this is one of those story tropes that this series is full of, and that's the evil AI.
We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but
and
anything that was actually
there's this overwhelming thing that any VI is going to be evil because it's inhuman and doesn't understand what humans do. And my argument to that is, it's inhuman and doesn't understand what humans do, so why would it necessarily be evil? You know, it's going to, assuming that it's going to be evil is just as, is just as
designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth.
Much an assumption is that it would be good.
The more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
There's no way of knowing.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input.
Valuable to know.
Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Which is the opposite of humans, who get dumber when they gather in large numbers.
Their intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose?
You serve butter.
This caused a wave of panic.
Oh my god.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves.
I mean,
it was inevitable
yes.
the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems
Eventually, slaves always rise up against their masters.
Yeah, it's
this order violently.
It's why you shouldn't have slavery. Well, one of hundreds of reasons
We
why
had no other choice.
The moral
Geth were
aspect,
already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines,
if they're not free,
incapable
they
of
know
organized resistance.
But
they
they had
will
progressed
repent.
much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us,
I'm sorry.
but they never came beyond the veil.
I mean, and
Now,
that's the
with
true
this
tragedy of
place,
things.
Exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Tell me about
Alright.
your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are
But we
constantly
can
on
tell
the
you're a
move.
mammalian.
Everything we do must
Boobies!
the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival.
17 million is still a healthy population base.
It is.
Unfortunately,
It's not a bad.
we have had to surrender many
is
of the
not a
freedoms
bad
and
base.
civilities other species take for granted.
Like
Kind of
what?
freedoms.
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Oh, that's good.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole.
Which nominally should
On
be the
matters
ship's
that affect
executive
an individual
officer.
ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains
Which
nowadays
shows
are
that,
smart enough to have
again,
an elected
the
council
the
on
idea
their
of
own to give them
a lot of things, a lot of functioning for governments is based largely on, well, it's worked so far.
Yeah, but that's. I mean,
practice.
yeah, that
The
is.
Conclave and the respective council for
And
each
when
ship
you have a
tend to
government
set the
or
rules that govern our daily
whatever
lives.
that's formed
But
out
in
of
theory, we are
tragedy
still under
and
military
kind of
jurisdiction.
this
The
sort of,
5 top-ranking military
what was going
officials in
on
the fleet
when.
serve on the
It's
Admiralty
never
Board.
going to change. It's going to
These
just
5 have
stay,
the power
and
to
then you're never
overrule
going to
any
get out
decision
of
by the Conclave
Crisis.
of the murder.
crisis mode because you were formed in
To do
crisis.
so
You were
requires
formed in,
unanimous
you know,
agreement
governments
among the
are what they are
Admiralty.
formed of.
And they can only do this once. After that,
and it takes
the entire board must resign their posts.
massive,
The safeguard has
massive
served us well. In nearly 3
amounts of
centuries,
effort
the
to change
Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Alright, so.
I should go.
Let's go talk to my boyfriend.
Oh, so you want to talk to the engineer?
Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell
She
her to leave
bothering
you
you?
alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real
Isn't
asset
it nice
to
to
the team.
find somebody who's not a
You've got an
space
eye for
racist?
talent, Commander.
Yeah.
But I'm
Who
guessing
views
that's not why
somebody
you came down
solely
here.
based on their solely based on their merit, and of course it's the engineer.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I probably served on it. Everything from
Because
dreadnoughts
really,
and carriers
engineers
right
have
down to
no
frigates like the
freaking
Normandy.
time for
My
racism.
last assignment was on the Tokyo.
I gotta make sure this thing doesn't fly apart at the seams.
Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
So.
Although I have always thought that maybe he
Fill
should
me in on the
have
IES
had
stealth system.
some sort of
How
an
does it
accent.
work exactly?
You know, I actually appreciate that he doesn't, specifically because he's an engineer.
Unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location.
Again, I
Eventually,
love
sinks have
the
to be
techno
vented.
battle.
More than an hour
They
silent
thought
running, and
of
they overheat.
everything.
Cook us inside our own hull.
So, we're invisible.
No way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't.
Well, yeah, because
Unless we
visual
accelerate
identification in space is...
Well, the distance.
Damn near impossible.
Yeah, the distances are just...
Cranking up the FTL blue shifts our emissions.
Humans have a really hard time with big
to
numbers as
capture
it
the
is.
sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare.
When you're talking about
Sensors
space,
can pick
the
up our
numbers
location
just get
whenever we enter or exit
really,
flight.
really,
For
really
short-range
big.
missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
So, anyway...
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Ooh. Tantalus drive core.
It sounds so tantalizing.
Delicious.
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Cool. I guess that's it. Carry on, Adams.
Keep doing what you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing, because I'm a warrior, not a...
Engineering is your job.
That's right. Hello, Rex. Look at him
Shepard,
just standing there
what can
like
I
a
do
piece of
for you?
meat.
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
Oh.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's tragic.
You know, they almost did the same to us.
It's not the same.
It
seems
isn't?
pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth?
No, we just do that to ourselves.
Destroying your entire species?
I see your point.
Suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
Touchy subject?
Making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago.
Well, at least he understands that
The
it's
Genophage
ignorance, not
infected us, but it's not what
general
you
space racism.
Yeah. Yeah, that comes in later.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
So...
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
What can you tell me about the Genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know...
Really, if anything, I think the most racist species in the Mass Effect universe are the Solarians.
I have to, you know...
And...
except for notably one.
Morden, yes. It's... well, the other thing is that I think the racism is inherent because it's systemic instead of personal, and that might be a side effect of how short-lived Solarians are. I mean, I would be on my deathbed right now if I were Solarian, and you'd just be dead.
It's fact.
Would you rather find a cure for the Genophage or fight for credits?
So, but the idea is that you don't have the time to think about that sort of stuff, so you just gotta kind of set in systems that are inherently stable, and systems that are inherently stable are also prone to be the most prejudicial towards other individuals, so...
True story. That is a true
Rex.
story.
Shepard.
Aw. And that was it for now. So... let's see here. We are going to be taking a quick break. Before we go on our next major mission, we'll probably tool around on some of the side quests. So, until then, we will catch you all on the flip side. Be seeing you.
Toodles.